Have you ever been on a picnic and had an uninvited guest show up? A little buzzing creature that won't leave your sandwich? Chances are it was a fly. Flies are everywhere. They buzz around our kitchens, they land on our windows, they seem to appear out of nowhere. You might think they're just pests, little annoyances. But hold on a second, there's more to a fly than meets the eye. These insects are fascinating. Their life story is one of the animal kingdom's great tales. It's a story of transformation, change, and science. Science is cool. Learning about flies teaches us about fundamental natural processes. The biggest whale in the ocean, the smallest ant on the sidewalk, and even you. The fly's journey, from squirmy maggot to winged adult, shows how weird and amazing nature is. Exploring it is a front-row seat to nature's magic tricks. Now, before we start our journey, we need to learn a very important, very cool science word. Are you ready? The word is metamorphosis. Go ahead, say it out loud. It sounds like something a magician would say, and in a way, it is. Metamorphosis means to change form, and that's exactly what a fly does. It doesn't just get bigger like a puppy growing into a dog. No, it completely changes its body into something totally different, like a superhero changing into their superpowered alter ego. There are 4 distinct stages: the egg, the larva. For a fly, that's the maggot, the pupa, the adult. Each stage has a specific job. Egg, protect the baby insect. Larva, eat and grow, grow, grow. Pupa, transform. Adult, fly, find a mate, lay more eggs. Every great story has a beginning, and the fly's story begins with an egg. A very, very tiny egg. A mother fly is an expert at finding the perfect place to lay her eggs. She looks for a spot that will have plenty of food for her babies when they hatch. This might be a piece of old fruit that fell from a tree, a pile of rotting leaves in the garden, or maybe some garbage that was left out. The eggs themselves are very small, usually white, pale yellow, shaped like tiny grains of rice or like miniature bananas. They are often laid in clusters, all huddled together for safety. A female fly can lay a lot of eggs at once, sometimes over 100 in a single batch. The egg stage doesn't last very long at all. In warm conditions it can be over in less than a day. The main job of the egg is to protect the developing baby fly, the embryo, inside. Then when the time is right and the baby inside is ready, it's time to hatch. A tiny worm-like creature chews its way out of the eggshell and enters the world. So, our tiny egg has hatched, and out comes a larva. For a fly, we call this larva a maggot. Now, maggots might not win any beauty contests. They're soft, pale, legless. They look a bit like tiny worms. They don't have eyes like we do, and they don't have legs for walking. They have a simple tube-like body designed for one thing: eating. A true eating machine, incredibly good at its job. Maggots don't have chewing mouths like we do. Instead, they have hook-like mouthparts. They tear off tiny pieces of food. They release digestive juices onto their food, which softens it into a soupy liquid. Then they slurp it up, like making a smoothie before you drink it. At its back end, it has something called spiracles. These are tiny breathing holes that act like snorkels, allowing the maggot to keep its head buried deep in its soupy food while still being able to breathe. A maggot's life is a cycle of eating, growing, shedding its skin. As the maggot eats, it grows at an astonishing rate. It can increase its body weight hundreds of times in just a few days. Molting is when an insect sheds its outer layer or exoskeleton to make room for the growing body underneath. A maggot molts several times during its larval stage. Our fully grown maggot has finished its eating marathon and has found a quiet, safe place, perhaps buried in the soil or hidden in a dark corner. Now the 3rd stage of its life begins, the pupa stage. The maggot's skin hardens and darkens, forming a protective shell around its body. This shell is called a puparium. It looks like a small, dark, seed-like capsule, and it doesn't move. From the outside, it seems like nothing is happening at all. But the pupa stage is far from a period of rest. It's more like a construction site hidden inside a tiny, sealed-off building. Inside this unassuming little case, one of the most dramatic transformations in the natural world is taking place. This process is called complete metamorphosis. The squishy, worm-like maggot is being completely rebuilt piece by piece into a complex winged adult fly with entirely new body parts. During this stage, the pupa doesn't eat or drink. It relies entirely on the energy it stored up as a maggot. This is why the maggot stage was so important. Once the maggot forms its pupal case, its body begins to release special chemicals. These chemicals break down most tissues into a thick, nutrient-rich soup. However, not everything is dissolved. Tucked away are tiny, special groups of cells called imaginal discs. Think of them as pre-packaged instruction manuals for the adult fly. One disc holds the plan for a wing, another for a leg, and so on. They were present all along, dormant and waiting for this exact moment. Now, inside the pupa, they spring into action. Using the energy and nutrients from the maggot soup, these discs begin to grow rapidly like seeds sprouting. This is the great remodeling. After days or weeks of furious, hidden activity, the transformation is finally complete. Inside the dark puparium, which is actually the hardened skin of the final larval stage, a fully formed adult fly is now waiting, and it needs to get out. The fly uses a special temporary inflatable sac on its head, the talinum. It pumps fluid into the sac, swelling like a little water balloon. Once its job is done, this sac will retreat back into the head forever. The inflated sac presses at the end of the pupal case, pushing until a seam pops open. The fly slowly and carefully wiggles out of the old puparium. When it first emerges, it doesn't look quite right. It's pale, soft, wings crumpled and wet, like scrunched paper, very vulnerable now. It pumps air and sends hemolymph, insect blood, into the wing veins. This is a critical moment. As the fluid fills the veins, the wings unfold and expand like a tiny fan. The fly holds them out to dry and harden. Over the next hour, its body darkens to normal color. Its outer skeleton hardens for strength and protection. The fly cleans its legs, cleans its antennae, testing its new body, preparing for life in the air, and then, it happens. The fly takes its very first flight. It lifts off, buzzing its wings hundreds of times per second, and enters the world as an adult. New mission: find food, avoid predators, find a mate to lay eggs and restart the cycle. From tiny egg to squirmy maggot to mysterious pupa, a new winged creature has finally joined the world. So we've followed the incredible journey from a tiny egg to a buzzing adult fly. But you might still be thinking, are flies really that important? The answer is a great big yes. Flies are much more than just picnic pests. They play several super important roles: decomposers, pollinators, food source. First and foremost, flies are master decomposers. Maggots are some of nature's most efficient recyclers. By eating dead and decaying material, they prevent it from piling up, and they return vital nutrients to the soil. This helps new plants to grow, which in turn provides food for other animals. They are the foundation of a healthy soil ecosystem. They are the unsung heroes of the cleanup crew. But that's not all. Adult flies are also important pollinators. While bees often get the spotlight, many types of flies visit flowers to drink nectar. In fact, some of our favorite foods like chocolate from the cacao tree wouldn't exist without them. These plants rely almost entirely on tiny flies for pollination. As they travel from flower to flower, they carry pollen, helping the plants to produce fruits and seeds. They are accidental but essential gardeners, ensuring the next generation of many different plant species and playing a critical role in maintaining biodiversity. Finally, flies and their larvae are a very important food source for countless other animals: birds, spiders, frogs, lizards, fish, other insects. They are a key link in the food chain. So the next time a fly buzzes past your head, take a moment to think about its incredible life story. Think about the journey it took and the important jobs it does for our planet. Science is all around us, even in the buzz of a common fly.